Welcome you and all to another episode of the Global Latin Factor podcast, where we talk about Latino everything. Thank you very much for being here. We appreciate you taking the time. We hit 1,000 subscribers plus, so make sure that you go and subscribe to the channel if you are supporting this community, where we bring you amazing stories about different kinds of Latinos, all walks of life. You can see them right here on the channel. Latinos are doing amazing things like this individual that we have here today. Today, we have an artist out of Dallas, Texas. He has performed with legends here in the music, such as Big Tuck, Mr. Lucci, Tum Tum, and many more. He has plenty of shows, has awards, has been published on magazines as well. We have Jay Tre, Jacob Trejo en la casa. Hello.
Hi, how y'all doing? Hey, appreciate you for having me too, man.
We got an audience. Audience is growing. We got Daisy in the house. Thank you very much for being here, taking the time. Thank you very much. We met in 2015. You were doing music. You were fairly young and barely starting to get into the music industry. And we were doing a radio show back in the days. It was just an internet radio show. I have nothing to show for it because I didn't record nothing. But it's crazy. We've known each other for that time.
Yeah, man. And I think it's cool to see the people that like you've dealt with years back still doing the same thing. You know? I think that's like a beauty in itself.
Well, we hope we're doing better things and not the same thing and keep pushing forward, such as your music, your sound, and everything that goes. But we're going to get to all that. First of all, we're going to go ahead and do a segment that I like to call
Preguntas al Chile.
If you have not subscribed to the channel, once again, what are you waiting for? So you can see the amazing graphics Carlos put together. Preguntas al Chile. Are you ready?
Let's get it.
Are you sure? Everybody
Yes, sir.
says it. They know the words. They know the questions. But all of a sudden, it's like,
Okay.
tacos o tortas.
Tacos.
Corn tortilla or flour tortilla.
Flour.
Gorditas o sopes.
Gorditas.
Mexican coca o jarrito.
Jarritos.
What flavor?
Pineapple.
Pineapple. Agua de horchata, jamaica or tamarindo.
Horchata.
Horchata water. Salsa verde o salsa roja.
Verde.
Team salsa verde all day, yes. Menudo o pozole.
Pozole.
Churros o flan.
Flan.
Valentina, tapatio or Cholula hot sauce. Or Tabasco.
Valentina.
Yeah, look at you. Conchas, the pastries, the brown ones, the white ones, or the pink ones. Which ones do you prefer?
The white ones.
The white ones? Okay, this one's a little different. I don't know if you're into conspiracy theories or not.
Okay.
A conspiracy theory that when you heard, you'll be like, that has to be true. Anything pops into mind.
Probably like the government listening into people, you know? I guess like Big Brother, if you want to say. Like,
what's that guy that had to move? That Snowden.
Yeah.
I mean, they were listening. He knew about it, and it's still not. I don't doubt that. Even they said that they're not listening. I mean, I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, social media and all these are already listening.
Yeah.
Anytime you're out and about and you're talking to somebody about whatever it is, religion, a pizza, ad for going to church type of thing pops up. So I don't doubt that the government can even use their influence with those companies to be like, let me listen in.
Yeah.
What kind of release Jay Tre got going on? Okay. And for you, when you first hear the word Latino, Latina, or Latinx, what comes to mind?
I think what comes to my mind is Latinos. I think of like the struggle we go through, the opportunities, the same opportunities we don't have as others. Like I always think about that when being Latino. Like it's just as hard as what other races go through, you know? And I feel like, you know, we're treated as a minority sometimes. And that's just like even in the rap game, you know? Right. I feel like we don't get that respect in like a lot of these places that we go to, but I mean, we could always be great in our own, you know, style or what we got to show. So.
Yeah, we always can introduce our influence, our heritage into the music and the sound.
Yeah.
And still be respected as an MC if you do music to show like where you come from, and then just open up people's eyes and ears to different things that they might not be accustomed to.
For sure.
But it has to do with your heritage, your background, your ancestors. So.
Yeah. And not just music, like movies too, you know?
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
yeah. And I'm Honduran too, so I don't know if I mentioned that on the bio. Mexican Honduran.
Ah,
A
see?
little hybrid.
Hey, even better because I didn't know that about you.
For sure.
So I learned something new. I
Yeah.
knew that you were Mexican, and I recall from that part. But it's
Mhm.
even better if you, mix with different things because it brings different perspectives from different
sure.
places. You know what I mean? I
Mhm.
mean, your background is not all Mexican and other things that I might not know about that I
Mhm.
can learn because of the way that you were raised. I'll be like, oh wow, y'all be doing that like that, or yeah, I think about like, yeah, I see things like this. I don't see things like a Mexican or somebody from Mexican descent would look into it. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, maybe see it a little different,
Yeah.
which is pretty cool. And as far as you, do you care if people call you Latino? Do you prefer being Latino? Do you care? I don't know if there's a half
Yeah. No,
Honduran
I love being Latino.
Latino.
Like, even if I'm like, I guess if I have to show like my heritage,
Yeah.
I'll show it, man. I love it.
So Honduras is from your half of from
Yeah.
Honduras,
From
really?
my dad's side.
Your dad's side,
Yeah. San Pedro Sula.
really?
Yep.
Okay, so tell me about that. Let's go ahead and start the interview. Of course, I knew that. Actually, I think I'm actually assumed that you were Mexican, or maybe I saw on the bio.
Okay.
But your mom's Mexican.
My mom's
Do
Mexican.
you know her journey to the States? How she got here? Has she always been here, as far as you know, or do you know she ever shared with you her journey here to the States?
Yeah, she shared it to me, but it took time for that
Yeah, of course.
because there was a lot of stuff that I wasn't ready for to listen to. I was
Gotcha.
too young, but it's an amazing story, man. Like when she told me, I was just like, man, like I would have never thought that this woman went through so much hardship. So seeing her struggle like pushed me to who I am today. Like,
Okay. Without being too invasive or too much detailing about her journey, can you kind of give us a little bit of a version of what it took for her to get here?
so she was actually her like my older sister.
Mm-hmm.
Her father was like in the cartel and all that.
Gotcha.
So she got put in that bunch and had to get out. When she got out, she fled to Dallas
Mm-hmm.
because that's where a lot of her brothers went to,
Gotcha.
and he sold drugs. So she knows a lot about everything. Growing up, I could never hide anything from her because I know what that is. Like,
Yeah.
you can't
Of
play
course.
me dumb.
So she was actually involved in selling?
No, she was never involved in it.
Okay.
But when she left, he was getting raided. So that's when she was like, "This is my chance to go and like leave this man, start a new life in the United States, just like every immigrant." And she decided to grab a duffel bag of weed and take it.
Really?
Yeah, didn't know what to do with it. She was like, "Man, I have it now. I know it's worth something. Let me give it to some people. Maybe they'll sell it, distribute
Mhm.
it, give me a little bit." I'm like, "Wait, so you were a drug dealer?" Like,
Without
oh,
wanting
man.
to, right?
Without wanting to, yeah, for sure.
She knew that there was value of that,
Mhm.
even though she didn't realize it, and
For
she
sure.
saw that she was gonna need funds to
Mhm.
keep it going.
Yeah.
So you were not in the picture yet at that time.
No, I wasn't.
Wow.
And came 4 years later, and she's just lived her life here ever since, man.
Awesome. What about your dad from Honduras?
My dad from Honduras is a different story, man. He's not around anymore.
Got you.
He decided to take the drinking route and lose everything that he had here.
Yeah.
So last 10 years he's been over there, but he passed away not too long ago.
I'm very sorry for your loss.
Okay.
It's unfortunate, even not only Mexicanos, but the Latino culture, we struggle a lot with
Sure.
alcoholism,
Mhm.
and it's a serious thing. And it's crazy that we have to be very careful sometimes. Whether it's cool. I feel kind of funny sometimes where our people is every weekend drinking and things like that. Which again, to each their own life.
Mhm.
But I don't see any path of anything good out of it
Yeah.
besides a short-lived moment of happiness, you can say, but really masking whatever feeling they're going through instead of real problem situations that they could face.
Mhm.
Which it hurts. Don't get me wrong. It's not like it feels really nice to go through them. But at the end of the day, whenever they do that, it's better for them health wise. And then the alcohol, it's not so much.
For sure.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So again, I'm very sorry for your loss. But it's wild to me that you're from Honduras. You're half Honduras too.
Yeah.
That your parents. Have you ever looked into that particular heritage side of how Hondureños function?
Yeah, but as far as going, like
Yeah.
I've never gone. I've gone to Mexico, just
Mhm.
never Honduras, man. I always hear bad things about it, but there's like always a beauty to the ugly. So I'm pretty sure there's like nice parts in Honduras.
I hear people that maybe are not from a particular country, or maybe the 2 generations down the line,
Mhm.
they're from a certain place.
Yeah.
But when they go back to wherever they're originally from, their people,
Mhm.
they feel a certain connection, a certain, like, oh wow, this is familiar, or
For
this
sure.
is like something that is part of my heritage. My
Yeah.
people that were here before, that they used to roam around here. And
Yeah. I felt that when I was in Cancun and Tulum, all those like ancient, buildings and stuff. Like I felt that, man. Like you just feel like you were there before, at
I
some
got you.
point. I don't know, some weird connection. For
I don't,
sure.
I believe you. I believe you that some things are not explainable, but the sense of feeling
Mhm.
in there, those weird, strange, unfamiliar feelings, but familiar in that
Yeah.
space, you'll be like, what is this?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And you can feel that way about people too.
Yeah.
Like someone you've never met and like you just meet them for the first time, you're like, I feel like I know you already. Like, You ever have people like that?
So, yeah, I have a theory about that. So, we started with the modern human race. Eventually, we started with 2 people, right?
Okay.
Eventually, down the line, we go on thousands of, we're talking about 200 to 300,000 years of reproducing and making humans to 8,000, right?
Okay.
What's not to say that down the line, 50, 60 generations, y'all were related somehow, and y'all
Yeah.
just veered off. And it might be your cousin, long lost cousin, or somebody like that would be like related to you, that you know each other.
I never thought about that.
It's just things that come to mind sometimes that are kind of weird.
Yeah.
But I'm like, but it's logical, right? We started with 2, and then we merged into 8 billions,
sure.
and down the line somewhere, it might be that weird distance relative that you didn't realize that you had, or
Yeah.
and even the demeanor, the connection. I know what you mean. I was like, damn, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I know you. Where
Yeah,
I know you
for
from? So, where is your mom from? What area in Mexico?
Juárez.
Juárez?
Yeah.
Juárez, Chihuahua?
Chihuahua.
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 Do you talk like that? You
No,
find
I
yourself talking
don't.
Spanish?
My mom doesn't either.
Really?
Yeah, no. We're like, nah, we don't talk like that,
At Tavo the Trio, a homie Tavo the Trio, it was here. He's from Chihuahua.
Yeah.
And he never realized that he talked like that until
Okay.
he worked at a place, I think it was in Austin, where he was talking like that. And all his coworkers were not from there, and they realized, so I'm
Yeah.
like,
they'll give you they'll give you so much.
he wasn't taking it like bad thing, but at that moment he realized, like,
Yeah.
oh damn, we really do be talking like that.
Yeah.
And there's only certain areas, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's amazing that the history and your mom having to go through that struggle and everything, and making you realize that of all the crazy things that you went through, for you to be able to be and go forward with some more.
For sure.
Okay, let's talk about the your name itself. I think it's a play on your actual real name.
Yes.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
How did it come about?
So for like the longest time, I think when I first met you, I went by Jay and just Jay.
Yeah.
And I met one of my mentors. He was like, "You can't go by Jay, man.
Too many
Yeah,
J's.
too many J's. You can have Jay Z, J Cole, Jay. Like you can't be referenced as them. You gotta have your own trademark, your own stamp." So for a while, it just came to me, Jay Tre, and I'm like, it sounds good, like just Jay Tre, and it's quick,
Jay
quick
Tre.
and fast, just Jay Tre.
Jay Tre. So how many years, how many months was it before you actually decided to go with it? Was there any other runner-up names for you? Little something is always popular too. Little J.
little J Frost.
Yeah.
Nah, to be honest, no. I just wanted Jay just because it was me. I didn't want to be something else. I wanted something to be as closely as myself. I don't know how to explain it.
Well, it is real close to what your name is, and I don't know if you were being called Jay before. When did they Jay?
Yeah.
Your
In high
family's
school.
called you Jay? Oh,
Yeah. In high school, it started in high school. People just call me Jay. Yeah, my family gonna call me Flaco. All skinny and
it's
stuff.
only obvious. Está un poquito flaquito.
Yeah, but that didn't come till I was making music for like a good 10 years before that name came to me, man.
Really?
Yeah.
Jay Tre. It does roll out of the tongue, and it does kind of reference to who you are, your actual name, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's dope. Okay, so tell me, how did you got into the so you were in the garage, remember playing with CDs, playing with different things like that, as far as like music and being around that, but cassette tapes too. But when was it that you realized that music was something that you wanted to do? What were your first earlier influences as far as hip hop and rap?
Man, like I got too many influences, man. And not just rap and hip hop, like Mexican music influences me, like even house music, like, I, I never closed myself to a certain genre. So growing up, the first two tapes that I ever bought were at a garage sale,
Yeah.
and they were MC Hammer and Michael Jackson.
For real?
Yeah, and then my mom's like, ¿Por qué quieres comprar esa música? Like, why do you want to listen to that rap stuff? Like, who showed you that? Nobody showed, or like, it's not even rap. Like, this is Michael Jackson. It's not even rap. And when I played it for the first time, man, I was like, man, this is awesome. And them little cassette players that you should take.
Walkman.
Yeah, Walkman. Man, I already forgot. It's been so long. Used to have one of those and just walk around elementary school listening to those two tapes, man.
Those two tapes.
Very first two tapes. And I just got them at a garage sale because they look cool. I was like, man, this guy's got a tiger in the background. I got to listen to this.
Yeah.
Literally. Like, man, I always looked up to that. Like, just, I guess, albums and how their art looks, because that's what attracts people to the music,
Okay. So once you heard those music and realized that people can do that, what else kept coming up as far as you wanted to listen to more? And of course, the art, seeing the art.
So I used to be a dancer.
Dancer as far as
breakdancer, popping,
Gotcha.
all that stuff. That's why I got really close to Miko, because I liked what Miko did and what he had to do. Let me shout out Miko. If you're listening, we wouldn't be here without him. But
yeah, right. Shout out to the homie.
But yeah, I started dancing, and I think that's where my fear of like being on the stage I got away, and I feel like that's where I got my rhythm too. So a lot of that helped me be who I am today, man.
So you didn't even do music in the beginning. You were doing more of the actual dancing first.
Yeah, and this was early, like 2005 to like 2008.
And were you did you get stage fright often? Stage fright kind of sort of? Or
Yeah.
not necessarily?
I always got stage fright before going on stage anywhere I went, but dancing helped me out with that a lot, man. Yeah.
What it feel to be dancing and be out there as far as like?
I guess you feel people's energy, like, and they're ready to see you. So like, people who are natural performers are gonna want to go for that, That
you feel
feeling.
that connection whenever you're on stage.
Most
Ever
definitely.
since the first time.
Ever since the first.
You remember the first time you actually went to dance in front of people?
Yes, it was
Tell me about it.
It was a quinceañera, and
Were you doing cadet dancing or just different type of dancing?
No, we're doing all. Like, we're doing the cadet, and then we would do the baile sorpresa, the surprise dance.
Yeah.
And yeah, just to be honest, it's not necessarily like something I can remember that far back, but I just remember like being nervous, doing the dance, and just being glad it was over, man. Because you know how it is, man.
Oh,
dancing
man.
in front of a bunch of people,
Random strangers, they're just looking at you, hoping that you don't fall or trip or something.
No, and
or drop the quinceañera.
And there was some stuff that happened like that too, man.
Wow.
Yeah, that happened.
So that kind of built you up for doing the performance. You realize that all of a sudden you performing is something that you like.
Yeah.
At
most
that
definitely.
time. So you just kept doing it and do it.
Mhm.
When did the music come to be as far as you wanted to begin to write? I know you were writing before, right?
So I freestyled a lot.
You freestyle.
Like, even at those quinceañeras, I'd be freestyling with my friend over hip hop beats we were listening to. And
yeah, being on the table just going
just
in?
listening to the beats, rapping over them. And I finally met somebody named Michael.
Mhm.
And Michael's an artist, and he kind of shed the way for music, like how to become an artist or how to say your lyrics
Yeah.
and everything. And so I looked up to him, and he's like, hey, man, I know you freestyle. Start writing your stuff. Like, how old are you? And I was like, 14. And he's like, when you're 18, by the time we're done talking, when you're 18, you're going to be beast. And, he always gave me that perspective, like, never stop,
So you were naturally good at picking up the beat and going with the beat, even freestyling at that time?
Yeah,
You
most
had-
definitely.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's good.
Now, I don't freestyle as much, so I'm losing that
Of course.
little, more of a writer now. But I still like to, it's
Okay.
fun.
And what do you remember at all your first song that you actually began to start writing? How did that feel as far as the difference of you just writing compared to just freestyling?
I was like, man, this is whack.
Yeah?
Yeah, I was like, man, this whack. And I hadn't hit puberty at the time.
Yeah.
So I sounded like a little kid. So I would just be like man, I can't put this out. I made music before I hit puberty, so I was like, man, I can't put this out.
You
man.
sounded very.
I sounded very young, man.
Sounded childish,
Childish.
child, young cat, and
Easy E.
you can hear it, kind of like that.
Yeah, kind of like Easy. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so when is it that you finally, after? I'm guessing you never gave up on it. Even if the first record wasn't right, good.
Yeah,
You didn't
sure.
really stop doing it. You just kept
Exactly.
maybe working it.
Yep.
Did you keep writing?
I kept writing. I would carry a thesaurus in high school, and I would just kind of like flip through each page, stop, look for the word of the day, learn a new word to put
Really?
into my music. Yeah. And like my friends can vouch for it, man. Hey, you used to read with the thesaurus in high school, weirdo.
So you used to carry the thesaurus. Where did the idea of started carrying the thesaurus come about?
My English teacher, she was just like, you should put more, or I guess a better vocabulary in your, don't use this word, change it for another word. You know?
on one of your sessions or school sessions,
Mhm.
she told everybody to
No, she told
Say-
me specifically
Why?
because she heard my music. Like, hey, listen to
Ah.
this. She's like, oh, you cuss too much, and she's like, why don't you get a thesaurus and like try to change the word, make it a more prolific word, I was like, okay, I'll try it out.
Man, there's the thesaurus kicking in the prolific word.
Yeah,
That's
right.
dope.
Yeah.
Okay, so you kept working at it. What kept you wanting to keep doing it though? Even though again you not so good the first one, gotta carry a thesaurus, and then what kept you keep pushing to keep doing it?
One of these producers I was working with, his name
Mm.
was Blase, and
I remember Blase the name.
yeah, Blase.
Yeah.
Okay, Blase. We grew up together, and we made this like duo where the music was just fire, bro, and it got better and better. People were recognizing it, and I felt that I couldn't stop. If I stop now, it's all for nothing,
Okay. Tell me about your first studio session. Was it an actual studio? Was it a home studio? And how was the feeling of you actually going through the process of learning how to record the first time? And then the feeling of whenever you heard your voice come through?
So it was at Blase's friend's house.
Uh-huh.
It was the first time I met Blase. He brought a microphone over, and we set it up in the closet. Just started recording, man. Had fun.
Yeah.
He really liked what I had, and I liked what he had. We just clicked.
So have you ever recorded previously before?
Yeah. Oh no, that was our very
That
first
was your
time.
very first time.
Yeah, in the closet. We thought we were all, we were
what's
all
it
the
called?
bomb and all that.
Hustle and flow type with the closet with the pad. Was there any padding?
No,
Just a
the,
mic.
The clothes. The clothes was our padding. Later on, we started using pillows and stuff.
To kind of like use it for sound.
Yeah,
That's
block it.
crazy.
Yeah.
And okay, so what about the first time you actually got in the mic and was spitting something and then you heard it back? How did that feel?
Yeah, I didn't like it
At all?
at all, man. I
You were
was
still
like,
young.
yeah, I was still young, and I was just
Ah.
like, man, I'm not comfortable with it.
It's just the sound
The sound, yeah,
because you still sounded like you were a kid.
yeah.
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 When was it that you finally? Of course, I'm guessing you started. Who was mixing, mastering, or even
He was doing everything.
who was?
Blase
Blase was.
Blase was doing everything. at
Was
the time.
he? What did he learn how to do stuff like that?
himself?
Just like playing
So-
around with it.
So Blase, when we were in high school, they asked him when he was 15 or 16, "What do you want for your birthday? You want a car, or do you want a studio?"
What?
And he's like, "Well, I live down the street from high school, so why don't I just get the studio?" And he just got the studio. He didn't have a car for years when we were in high school, but it was a sacrifice that helped both of us, man.
Really?
Yeah.
So all the time that you were in high school, y'all were over there making music.
But we didn't go to prom. We were making music.
Y'all were making music.
Yeah. People were like calling me on the cell. "Where you at, man? We're out here having fun." And I'm at the studio, man. Like, let me know about the after parties. We'll pull up.
Really?
Yeah.
What drove y'all to keep doing that? Again, I know it's the love of it, but really, just
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
passion for the
passion,
music.
man. And it's like we shared that passion together. Like he liked music, I loved music. We both loved it, So it's just the passion, man.
Really.
Yeah.
When was it that your very first project that y'all got out, or that you got out by yourself? As far as so I don't know if y'all still good with Blase or
Mhm.
y'all made y'all separate ways.
Yeah.
But when was it that you actually began to just continue your journey with music and create your own projects?
So I made my very first project with him, and it was
Mhm.
our mixtape.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to say after the second mixtape, I branched off on myself, and I started meeting like different engineers, different producers, started performing at different places.
Right.
But we always stayed friends, But like we grew apart, you know, people grow apart. So
What was the first mixtape called for you?
vasocongestion.
Huh?
Vasocongestion.
And what does that mean?
It's like when you get blue balls.
Oh, okay.
The scientific term.
Scientific term
The
for it?
scientific
I
term.
didn't even
And
know
it
there
was
was a scientific term
yeah,
for it.
and I called it that because it was something that I was like, man, I'm not gonna give it all. I'm just gonna give you all like blue balls for the music.
Ah.
I was young, man.
Hey, but you were getting witty with it. Even if it was, you could have put that out there for shock value, right?
Mhm.
But it was like, what is it like? It make me want to ask, like,
For
what is
sure.
that? And then what the meaning means is like, we're just gonna tease you with a little bit of it.
Mhm.
Here's the mixtape, the
Yep.
first one,
For sure.
and then the second one,
Second one was called Tunnel Through the Air.
Tunnel
And
Through the Air.
it's a book that I read at the time, so it really inspired me. And then
What was the book about?
The book was about like almost like a let's say like a wormhole almost,
Yeah.
and being able to go through it. Like what would happen, you know? But that's all. It's all scientific theory and stuff.
Oh,
We
yeah.
really don't know what happens. So
In other words, just guessing to see what happens if you go through a wormhole. If maybe you come out the other side.
right?
Maybe you come out to another dimension.
Yeah.
Maybe you didn't even make it other way. You just
Yeah.
deteriorate within going into the wormhole.
Yep.
I like other stuff.
Me too, man.
I like to look into others,
Yeah. Scientific.
which is all guess and stuff, which is cool that I don't have the title to call myself a scientist, but I can come up with theories as far as what could happen and exist or whatever the case might be. But it's just all crazy guesses that we just little by little go and making little progress on things like knowing dark matter, knowing wormholes, knowing just a galaxy itself.
Yeah.
You know, how it gravitates around what it is, knowing about different universes, not universes.
Yeah.
And then how it's. Do you ever think and ponder the word of infinite as far as our universe and really thinking and realizing and pondering that it never stops?
No.
I
Yeah.
do.
It's always growing. I do think about it. Yes,
Yeah.
I do. But it's just, yeah, it's infinite universe, and to think that there's another alternate universe of yourself, you know?
See, I don't know about that one, but I heard of it too. But I don't see that it could not be a possibility because I feel like everything's possible. I really do.
For sure.
I really feel multi-universe.
What about your dreams?
So
Dreams
the
are
other day,
weird.
okay. So the other day, I was wondering, what if that is the time that you go and live your other on your other universe, the other part of your universe, wherever you're the equivalent of or the opposite of the universe that you're go to, and
For sure.
that's what happens.
I got a cool story about a dream.
Okay.
My aunt, she had a dream that my sister had a kid, and my sister was 16. She was like, we're like, no, there's no way.
Yeah.
My 3-4 months later, she's pregnant. We're like, what? We're like, what? That's crazy. And then I want to say 5 years later, she's like, hey, I had a dream that she's got twins. No way. Boom, she has twins, man. But this is a phone call at like midnight. Oh, I'm having a freak out. Is she pregnant? No, she's not pregnant. 2 times, man.
See, that's what I'm telling you. Like, I don't know what dreams mean. I really don't. But the other day, I was pondering what would it be, and to me, it would be like another life that you're living in another universe type of stuff.
Yeah.
Like that could be a possibility that because sometimes you feel like you wake up either too tired or
Yeah.
don't want to get tired or don't want to wake up because you want to keep living that life
For
until you
sure.
have to come back.
Yeah.
And then there's people that use experimental drugs and stuff that they take that I think that's the Joe Rogan podcast. Shout out to Joe Rogan. If you see me, what's up, bro? Coming
Yeah,
after you.
Joey.
I'm just kidding, Joey. So he was saying that this gentleman took some kind of drug, very potent drug that kicked in really fast.
Okay.
And he took him into a place where he was only gone for about 10 minutes. But that dude was literally living another life at another place at that
Wow.
time.
Okay.
And when he came back, and we actually came back from that trip, he said that fool was kind of upset because he left the whole other life behind and he wanted to go back.
Does he know how long he was gone for?
He was gone for about 15 minutes. I think he afterward they
No,
you
like,
know,
does he know how long he was gone for in there?
I
Like
don't recall, but it felt like it was like
years.
years.
Wow.
That it was not like one moment. It was
Yeah.
like a long time.
Wow. That's
And that
crazy.
makes me think of the dreaming part of maybe you're living your life here,
Mhm.
whatever this is. Or maybe in this reality I'm awake, but the other reality I'm asleep,
Yeah.
waiting for me to wake up and so forth, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's just trippy things that you makes you want to think. But that stuff about your tia, that's crazy.
Yeah.
How
Like,
did
you
she
can't
do
explain
it?
that
You can't
stuff.
explain it. Like
No.
how?
How?
Like even if we go to scientists and have her analyze her brain, scan her brain, and things like
Mhm.
that, like
You can't test it.
miracles.
Okay.
I believe in miracles.
Oh,
I
sure.
believe miracles. Certain things happen. Ghosts. I don't know what ghosts are, but I believe they're around certain energies. I don't know what it is, but if anybody was to tell me certain things about that, I wouldn't question that. That is a possibility. That something that it's unexplainable that you really can't take it to scientists that they can't even understand or they can't even put it into words what it is.
Yeah.
Because to them, it doesn't align with the books and the things that they've been reading and things like that. You know, certain times they want to stick with the scientific method, the theories that they have, and want to live off of that and not ponder on different things that could be a possibility.
For sure.
I'm pretty sure some do, but it's probably frowned upon the scientific establishment.
Yeah.
So a lot of times they wouldn't, but they will be like, "Well, you're crazy, lady." There's just look.
Well, anything that can be recorded or tested is usually like disproven. You know, it's
Yeah.
not real to people. So
But I'm saying, your tia to do that, and even if they took her to happen twice,
Yeah.
unexplainable.
unexplainable. Yeah. No,
Miracles that people that come back and that were gone and unexplainable.
Yeah.
I have no idea why. That's crazy. So your first project, and then why is it that you veer off to start doing your solo thing and then exploring in the music industry with different producers? What did you just wanted to have a different sound? Did you want to grow as an artist? What drove you that direction?
Yeah, it's just like with people you work with, man. You just, one day you work with them, the next time you're working somewhere else, and that's just how it happened. But I see him. Hey, what's up, man? He's came to some of the shows.
Nice.
It's all love, man.
When was your first official solo show that you did ever, and who was it with as far as artist headliners?
Well, first solo show I did was at a sushi bar.
Really?
Yeah, a long time ago.
Where?
Addison.
Addison.
Yeah.
Remind me of the venue, because I'd have even been there.
It's right off of Dallas North. No, is it
Yeah,
Dallas North?
Tollway, right?
Is it? But it's.
Was it Fusion or something like that?
No, I don't think it was
No?
called Fusion. The DJ booth was at the very top.
I remember the place.
You remember that?
I remember the
Okay,
place.
yeah, that's the place.
But I don't remember what it was, but I remember exactly what you're talking about because
Yep.
I went there.
Yep.
I went there.
And they had shows there. It's
They had
crazy.
shows?
Yeah, and the guy really liked us, and he's like, "Man, we'll let you perform." He let us perform. That was our very first show ever, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
How did it feel? Quick break to let you know, thank you very much for being here. We appreciate it. I know you know that it helps us whenever you subscribe. Hit the like button and comment. Help us out. We appreciate it very much. And now back to the episode.
Yeah. And
How did it feel?
amazing. Because
Yeah?
like all your people were there, like to support you, and I guess the finally feeling like you belong, after so
Yeah,
long, just
yeah.
because, do so many things and like you don't get that support. But like when you finally do get that support, people come out for you. It's amazing, man.
Where did did you get those people as far as were they just your friends? Were people that just really liked
people I
them?
knew. Yeah, everyone I knew that just wanted to come out and support.
How many people you think y'all took that day?
Like 30 people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The promoters like that though.
Yeah, I
They
know.
be milking that.
I know. Then that's what he was. I think that's why he liked us, was because we brought
I got
people.
30 people
Yeah.
that were spending. So
They were spending.
you were
yeah.
young though. You were still 18, no?
Yep. I was 16, 17.
And he was still letting y'all in?
Yeah.
Really?
Mhm.
Dang, that's crazy. So that's why you liked y'all.
Yep.
Okay.
He compared me to Drake though, so I don't know about that one.
I mean, I guess during that time he saw something that
Okay.
you were maybe the voice, the sound, the performance,
Okay.
because you were already dancing previously before, so
Mhm.
you already know how to manage a crowd,
Yeah.
not to be shy whenever you're on stage, how to move.
For sure.
We talk about some of the awards you gotten before that reason
Mhm.
because you're actually kind of you're an entertainer.
Yeah.
You know that you need to put a show. People are the energy part, I never heard of it before, but I can see how people that like to entertain people get get fueled by that
Yeah.
to be able to, especially when people are interacting, they're screaming,
Yeah.
and you're there and you hyping them up, and you hear them screaming, and you command the crowd, you tell them to do something, and they do it,
Yeah.
like just to be part of that moment, and that's crazy.
Yeah, it's amazing.
That's crazy.
So the very first big artist that I ever opened up for was
Yeah.
Dee Baby.
Yes.
And this was last year.
How did that come about? Because you were one of the Latinos that was highlighted for that performance, right?
Yeah. So pretty much someone just gave in the good word. Someone put in a good word for me and told me I could bring a crowd in. You know, like you said, man, they
Yeah.
like that. So I've been getting a lot of shows lately because of that. You know, just following down the line, kind of domino effect.
Do you feel that? Because I used to do shows too before when I was diving into music and bring people in, but after that, your people can only support you for so long
For
before they
sure.
get kind of tired of
sure.
every single time going
Mhm.
out there and seeing you perform same show.
Yep.
Are you running into that, or do you wait to maybe here and there have a special like D Baby is a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
He's coming up. He's got great numbers. His sound and everything comparisons that they're comparing him to. I think the biggest Latino artist right now as far as music is that Mexican OT and D Baby as
Yep.
far as numbers.
Yeah, I saw them. Shout out both
So-
of them.
So how do you keep people just keep wanting to support you and show up for you, and not just the artist, the bigger artist?
So I've gotten to a point where I kind of just put out the flyer, and then people will contact me like, "Hey
Mm.
man, never been to your shows. I like your stuff," and they'll come out and support, man.
That's dope.
Yeah. So
Right.
I try not to invite the same people over and over again because, like you said, people get burnt out.
Whether you want it or not, you got to be able to know how to handle the mic, how to grab the mic properly,
Yep.
and how to be able to interact with people that they connect with you. Because you're spitting whatever it is that you're doing because you have a dream and you have a song you think is hot. It's just not gonna be everything
Yeah.
to people that are watching. For you to gain yourself maybe a fan or two, it's just not gonna work for you.
No.
It's better whenever you do it the way you do it, that you have confidence enough to be able to do. The people that support you know what the business is, that you're going to be there conducting business
For sure.
and entertain them, and then entertain everybody else is there and they see it.
Yeah.
And it's a big difference. That's why Cruz knows. He used to actually. Did you know that Cruz used to make music too?
I didn't.
Yeah.
Dang.
I mean, his brother used to make music.
That's crazy.
Mano a Mano Records back in
Damn.
the days way in Pittsburgh.
I always remembered him as a radio host.
Oh, he's still the guy. He's still on the morning show, even getting bigger.
Nice.
Morning show, doing great things. Always out there every single weekend on an event too.
For sure. Shout
That
out Jay
dude-
Cruz, man.
Shout out Jay Cruz. Homie is always on it, on point. Things that I needed for my 2-year anniversary. He sent me a video with the gear and everything.
That's
He's
what's up.
super supportive.
That's what's up.
Super supportive guy, always out in the community, always doing things. And he knows about the industry. So for him to come to you and acknowledge that part is very significant because he knows. All the other stuff is cool, but it's just not as effective if you are taking your craft serious.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure it sounds bad, but I'm pretty sure the other individuals might not even last a couple more years because you can only maintain it so long because every week the same people that come,
Yeah.
burn them out, and there won't be you by yourself before you know it.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool though. And after that, what other show have you done? I know you've done Legends, you Tom Tom, DSR one time, right?
Yeah. That was the last show we did.
Mm.
It was Big Tug, Tum Tum.
Where was that at? What venue?
A Green Elephant.
What was the one with D Baby at?
That one's at Rodeo West.
Rodeo
you know the
West?
spot?
Yes.
I've
And
ne-
Fort
it's-
Worth, right?
I think so. It was a little distant. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I never been there. It was a pretty cool club. They
Yeah.
got like a whole section for people to sit up on top.
Yeah.
Pretty dope.
So and then Green Elephant,
Green Elephant.
DSR. They
DSR.
do what, the reunion, or what were they doing there at that time?
They had a show for a manager that we knew or that I used to know,
Yeah.
and he pretty much booked them. And he was like, "Hey, we need you to open up."
Gotcha.
And through that, we got Tum Tum, I guess, noticed the performance, and he contacted me on Instagram,
he did?
Yeah. and he
Wow.
was like, "This work." So Tum Tum sent me a beat. I'm working on it. Sent it back. Said it's nice. So we just gotta get it together.
So you're in the works for getting a song with Tom Tom, and he's the one to reach out to you because
Yes,
he liked
sir.
what you were doing.
Yeah. Shout out
And
to
that
Tum
was
Tum.
in the Green Elephant.
Yep.
How did that one situation come about for you to perform?
So like I said, the manager that I used to work with, he booked them, and he kind of just said, "Hey, we need you to perform with us."
Okay.
Yeah.
So
gave us
he
the
already
opportunity.
knows your work. He already
Yeah.
knows how you do,
Mhm.
how you handle business.
Yep.
And then put you on.
Put me on,
Yeah.
man.
How was
So,
that show?
It was amazing too. So a lot of people came out to support. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Like right as soon as I was like done performing, it got a little empty, man. Like a
Yeah.
lot of people, cause it was late. It was on a Sunday. People were like, "I'm trying to go home after the performance."
Yeah.
It can be like that sometimes, but um, it was amazing, man. I think getting Tum Tum to contact me was like the win for that night, man.
Oh yeah,
For
most
sure.
definitely, and it's understandable. Again, you have to be selective on the shows that you do.
Yeah.
Those are good shows.
Okay.
For other artists that are coming up, don't get me wrong. It's great that you're able to practice if you're up and coming to be out there and be able to work your craft.
Yeah.
But yourself, such as being seasoned, somewhat being able to do it, it's got to be selective as far as
Yeah.
the ways you do because, something came out of it.
Yeah.
How do you feel about people charging for you to perform or sell tickets for you to be able to perform? Because I'm pretty sure you ran into those situations before.
Yeah, people like ask me to pay money to perform, and I can't do it. Like if we're gonna do a show together, let's do it together. If I'm gonna sell tickets for you, we're both gonna make money. Does that make sense? So
Yeah.
I'm gonna bring people, make a little money off the end of it, and you'll make a little money off of the end of it. We both eat, and it's a mutual thing, man. Because a lot of artists out here just don't do that. You know, they'll sometimes pay the fee. Nobody will come out to see them. It's just not a good performance, you know?
Yeah. So have you ever paid for any? Have you been pressured that you feel it was
No.
worth the pay?
Never.
Yeah.
Never.
That's cool.
Mhm.
Yeah, I like that because it is true. It's really very short living. There's better ways for you to invest your money than that.
Yeah.
It's just like again, you maybe get one or two people that will follow you, but if you're not a good showmanship,
Yeah.
if you don't have a good set, if you don't even have your music correctly produced,
Yeah.
then it's gonna sound horrible. And then your hands over here with the mic, like a foot away, and it's just not gonna work for you.
They have asked me to like pay to perform, and it's for big people like MGK, Bone Thugs. Can't remember who the third one was.
I felt whenever I was doing music, it was never worth it.
For sure.
I think one of the times that I did was for a radio station, but that was because we were going to be included in all the promotional.
Okay.
So it made sense, and we were going to be on a pretty good time whenever we were going to be out there.
Yeah.
And as far as and a booth to sell merch.
Yeah.
And a good amount of set, like so everything, all that was included within that.
Okay.
So for the amount that I felt it was worth the publicity,
Mhm.
and it was worth the fact that I could make some money still, even if I spend some money,
Yeah.
to recoup it back.
For sure.
But
It's sometimes I'm not saying that they're not supposed to pay for promotion because that's what it is at the end of the day.
yeah,
You're promoting yourself. It's just you got to pick which one's gonna work for you because
Yeah.
otherwise it's gonna be a bad investment at the end of the
it
day.
is. I felt that one was pretty all right, even though looking back, I don't have the footage
For sure.
for it.
Okay.
Which would be more significant. We were opening up for Snow the Product back in the day. So you see what I mean?
Yeah.
See?
Did you make connections through that? Like, did it help your journey from
Not
where you're
really.
at? Not really.
Because everything was gone from that time.
For
But it was
sure.
cool moment,
For sure.
and I got a picture with her.
Experience.
Yeah, but again, it's just experience that we had in the music business that it just depends on how you want to work it. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? You
sure.
have your own way.
Mhm.
You're not against the idea of investing or for the promotion part,
Yeah.
but now the world has changed in 2023 as far as the way you do things.
Yeah.
So you just got to be different. But the showmanship, to be able to put a good show, is you can't teach that.
Yeah.
It takes years for you to be doing it, to be able to be getting good at performing
For sure.
and being acknowledged for it. In fact, you actually got a couple of awards, right? Umuziklives,
Yeah.
is that what it's called?
Yeah. Umuziklives.
Okay, so tell me about that. How did it happen? How did they nominate you? You won 2 years in a row for live performance,
Mhm.
correct?
Yeah. So the first one I won because I had a sling on. I had broke my arm or my collarbone, and I still performed.
Are you
like I was up there jumping with my people with my arm like this. So they're like, we got to give it to him, you know?
Really?
Yeah.
And out of how many acts was that?
I think like 15.
Out of 15 acts,
Yeah.
you were able, they
There was
gave
a
you the
bunch.
award.
Yeah. And there's been so many because I do the U music shows a lot. Like Umuzik. Shout out Umuzik and Anthony, the guy who runs it.
Guy.
He has done a lot for me. That's in the past like 5 years, 6 years that we known each other.
Got you.
So he's helped me get to where I'm at now, show wise as well. Like he'll tell me if I have a booger in my nose. You know what I mean? He's that kind of person. Like those are the kind of people you need to have in your life, man.
But if you see your significant other with something in their face, it's not rude to tell them politely, hey,
tell them
you got something in your eyes. Take
but
it
not
off
even your
forward.
significant. You got one of your friends. You know,
One of your homies. If your homie is your homie,
a coworker. It don't even matter.
If your homie is a good homie to you, and if you have food in your cheek, if you have cilantro in your teeth, they'll tell you, hey, you got a piece of cilantro. Hey, real discreet too. And I'm like, hey, you got a piece of cilantro. No, not like that. Talking about like, hey, you got a piece of cilantro in your teeth.
I'd rather you tell me than me finding out.
Don't call me out in
later.
front of
Does that
everybody.
make sense?
At least for me, it's like, hey, can you tell me discreetly, hey, bro, you got to see the cilantro in you. Oh, okay, thank you, appreciate it. Where? Did I get it? Like, are you good? That's a friend.
Yeah, for sure.
That's a
for
friend.
Sure.
So he's been helping you out?
Yeah, he's been helping me out, and he's felt like there's been times where I performed, and he's like, we don't want to let Jay Tre win because it's gonna seem like it's favoritism and all that.
Yeah.
So I kind of just show love by helping doing the shows every now and then, man.
Oh, that's
People are
dope.
like, man, you should have won that show. Man, you should have won that one. I'm like, man, it's not even about that, you know.
That's pretty
Just come
cool.
here to perform.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go back a little bit on the process for you to make music.
Okay.
I missed out on that earlier. For you to make music, as far as your process, so you used to freestyle, you write.
Yep.
Do you select the beat first? Do you have a group of producers that send you beat packages? Do you have your own producer that you go to already? Do you go to selecting the beat and then go into it? Or do you go with an idea of a song and then the producer puts it together and you create a song? How does your process?
So the first two are like my to-go processes. Producers will send me beat packs, like K Fisher.
Uh-huh.
K Fisher works with Larry June. You know Larry June?
No.
No, he got like West Coast
Got you.
rapper, and so a lot of West Coast beats. Beat Plug Bizzle and Third Lion are two other producers that I work with
Got
closely, and they're from Dallas. What we'll do is we'll get together, and we'll just be chilling, crank some drum kits. Somebody will make the melodies. I'm writing in the background, and like that's like the best music that comes out, man.
Yeah.
When you're making it like from the scratch, you know.
And where do you record now? Who is your recorder?
So I record several places. I have my own studio setup. So if I need a setup wherever I need to, I record and I'll send it to my engineer, A. Paulé, and he gets me right. I met him at Grand Hustle
Yeah.
at TI Studio like 5 or 6 years ago.
Yeah, you have a picture on IG.
Yeah.
About it.
Yeah. So I met him through that, and we've been working ever since.
So you've been during that time, as far as your creation, is that how the process comes? So you learned to even record your own music now.
Yes.
So is that something to save you funds for always going into the studio?
Yeah, for
or
sure.
Creativity is running. You wake up from a dream and you want to get into the studio, record something.
That too, man. Like you ever wake up and you just like it's like the fuel, the fire. Like it's like the synapses are burning, they're going, and I feel like that's the best time for me to make music is like in the morning, man. That's why my song is called 4 a.m.
4 a.m.
Yeah, I woke up thinking about the beat. I fell asleep because I gotta work tomorrow. Fell asleep, woke up at 4, like, man, I gotta write to that beat, man. I gotta write to that beat. Just start writing it and record it, send it out, get it mixed and mastered, all that.
So you send it to your engineer who does everything else. You just give him you got your settings as far as what you prefer for your voice.
Yeah,
And then you shoot it out to him.
for sure.
He takes care of the rest.
Yeah, sometimes I'll send him a reference track
Yeah.
so I know what I'm looking for. Otherwise, he's gonna do whatever he wants to on the track.
Got you.
Which is cool because A. Paulé works with Duke Deuce. You know who Duke Deuce is?
No.
Another rapper out of Atlanta. And man, stuff is fire, bro.
But you still have your own idea as far as where you want or how you want the song to do. But you still let him do his creative part as far as like putting it together and getting out the final product.
For sure, and making sure it sounds up to par.
Up to par, you mean
Yeah.
in music standard of amongst the people that are already out there, like the Drakes, the known rappers out
making
there.
sure it's up to par. Yeah, the sound.
What would you say your style, as far as your style of music, is? As far as people have said, you sound like this, or you sound like from here, you sound like from there. Have you get anything?
Jay Rhodes. Jay Rhodes has told me that he's a Grammy Award winning producer from Dallas.
Yeah.
He told me I sound like the Mexican Logic.
The Mexican
The
logic.
Mexican logic.
Your flow is nice. Your
Thank
flow is, you know how to ride the beat. You know how to be able to deliver nicely. You have nice, I don't know if it's crazy punchlines, but you do flow everything nicely.
Yeah.
And your voice goes nicely with the beats every single time.
For sure.
And of course, it sounds really good as far as you can tell it wasn't recorded. Even if it was at your house, whenever it's sent to whoever it is that takes care of it,
Mhm.
it didn't sound like it came from, or you recorded yourself.
For sure.
So that's good. That's
Thank
great.
Thank you.
Okay. So we're running very short on time. However, I appreciate you very much. What is the project that you have that you've been working on? Are you releasing singles only? Are you working on something different as far as maybe just releasing singles for a certain amount of time,
Mhm.
an EP or an actual album?
So the album we're waiting for, but
Mhm.
we might have a couple projects in between, couple singles like the one with Tum Tum coming out,
Mhm.
and next year working on a project called Mango Puree, and it's
Mango puree.
Mango Puree. Cause who doesn't like mango?
I love
Think
mango.
about that.
I love
I
mango.
went around asking like a good like 20, 25 people, like, do you like mango? You like mango? You like mango? Not one person said they didn't like mango, man.
And what's the concept of that song?
It's a whole project.
Oh, it's a whole project.
It's a whole project, yeah. So Mango Puree was inspired by Larry June, which is an artist, and he goes with oranges. So I wanted to go with the mango.
Yeah.
So I might even add a little bit of tahini on there, just to show the Mexican side of it.
Nice.
So yeah.
Well, you already got the spice, bro. You already by default mango con spice. That's dope.
Yep.
So is that an EP?
Yeah, that will be an EP, all produced by K Fisher,
Mm.
by a
And
single producer.
when are you seeing to maybe that one coming out into life? That project?
Next summer.
Next summer.
Next summer, yeah.
So it takes a minute for you to get everything situated and
Yeah,
projects to be
I
out.
want to make sure everything has like the right attention and it's dropped at the right time. Gets the right, I guess, amount of people to watch and see what's going on.
How long do you think it takes you to finalize the song that you said, and how much, if you don't mind me asking, the investment of that song before it's actually out into the masses?
It depends on the song.
Mm.
Like I've spent thousands on like 2 songs, and then I showed it to somebody. This was before I started going through engineers. I showed it to somebody, or 2 different engineers. I showed it to S1, and S1 was like, "This is dope, but your voice is like under the track. I need to hear them leveled." I was like, "Man, I'm paying like $1,000 over for these 2 songs."
Yeah.
Like, and I still didn't get that sound. It was because I was going through one engineer.
Mhm.
And like we were talking about earlier,
The second ear.
Yep.
The
you want a
second set of
ear on
ears
it.
for you to hear
Yeah. So
that.
that helped me just kind of level up.
Wow.
Yeah.
So even though it was thousands on the song, sometimes you felt like the second opinion was better. And that's just going through time of you. Nobody told you this before.
Nobody. Everybody was saying it was amazing. It was great,
Is that because you think they were being friends or supportive?
No, they don't
or
understand.
They just don't understand.
They don't
it?
understand. They don't hear it,
So you don't really blame them. They just
No.
haven't been they don't have the ear yet developed
No,
to be able to know that.
for sure. Some people will hear it,
Mhm.
Like people who make music were the ones who are going to hear it.
So, nice. Okay.
Yeah.
So after that, and then how long of a time does it take for you to get it right? Now,
As far as
as far as
recording,
just finalizing the song from beginning to end.
man, I could do a song in like 30 minutes to an hour, It's all about making sure I have the idea in my head and like performing it,
Mhm.
There's times where I'll record for 3 hours and I'm like, man, this is trash. Like, trash it, It happens. It's part of the process.
Yeah.
know?
And then the other one, sometimes it could take you that time, but where actually you get it sent to the people that needs to hear it and make it final. How long could that possibly take for you?
A day.
A day?
Yeah, they're really good on it.
So, and is there a lot of things that you have on the vault that you've been holding on still, or you just every project you get out, you just put it out?
Nah, I got a lot in the vault.
You still got a lot.
A lot. Yeah.
Why is that? Why you saving them?
I'm getting better.
Uh-huh.
4 a.m. is actually like the first release in a minute.
Yeah.
So I'm getting better with it, man.
Yeah.
Getting better.
Why with people that know you for a long time, they kind of sort of seen you slow down a little bit in the music and be more consistent.
Yeah.
Is there something that happened as far as the music, maybe falling out of love or personal things happen for you?
No, people think the people who think I stopped making music,
Yeah.
I never stopped, man.
Got you.
Never stopped.
You never
Always.
stopped making music.
Never stopped.
You just haven't put it out there to the masses, but it doesn't mean
Exactly.
it hasn't been being made.
I perform some of them,
Yeah.
and people are like, "Where's this song?" Like,
So it's about that time.
Yeah.
So do you don't, as far as for you, the consistency of maybe releasing monthly, maybe releasing every 2 weeks, consistently feed the masses, especially with
Yeah.
the world, social media moving so fast, TikTok
Yeah.
being a few seconds?
Yeah.
Do you feel that it's some kind of pressure for you to start releasing consistently every month, every week, or every 2 weeks, whatever the case might be, or not really?
I guess it's just the pressure of making sure it gets the right attention. And I don't
Mhm.
want it to just be another song that gets thrown out the window. You know, I want to try to push it as much as I can.
Do you feel you got the right formula now that everything that you have in the vault should have that already, and it should be ready to go to the mass? Because do you know that Ice Ice Baby?
Yeah.
He didn't like that song. There's certain songs that will go, but that you did and put effort. And there's a lot of cases of artists that have songs that wasn't their favorite track.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, the masses and people like those songs.
Yep. Like
So
Beyonce and her single ladies. She probably don't like the song, but she got to perform it every time.
You see what I mean? So if
Yeah.
you got the process and the attention and the correct way that you wanted it to sound, even though you might not feel like putting it out, it still do something for you. Especially
sure.
if you're doing distribution on your own and you don't have to worry about anybody else.
For sure.
I can still generate a couple pennies.
No doubt.
But I know an artist that releases every month.
Yeah.
But I kind of started, he never told me, but I kind of sort of saw the math behind it. I'm like, if he generates a few thousand streams
Okay.
and he has like 30 projects and they all generate a few cents or
Mhm.
even $1 or two,
Yeah.
it compounds to a good size of chunk by the time that 3 months pass by.
Yeah.
You know, maybe a couple hundred. But just having to put the project out there, telling people it's there and be consistent with it.
For sure.
To me, it felt like, he never told me.
Yeah.
But I kind of sort of in my mind, it's like, that kind of slick.
Yeah.
This kind of makes a lot of sense.
And then time's moving, man. Like we're not getting any younger, so
So I can't wait to hear
Yeah.
whatever you have on the boat, and I hope that you get it out there and put it out there. If you already got it, gave it the attention that it needs, and now it's just the people just waiting for to be seen.
Yeah.
And that mango puree,
mango puree
that's pretty
on
dope.
the way.
Okay, and then after that, you'll refocus on maybe an album yet, or you're still waiting to see how the people react for this project?
So for the album, an album is special to me, man. Like I want to put like so much money into an album for like different producers, not too many artists, but you know, I want to put a lot of money into an album, man. Like
Yeah.
I'm looking like $500,000. Like yeah,
It's quite a bit of money.
it is, man.
That's a
But
big chunk of change.
but like I need that push. I need that push from somebody to make the album. Does that
Mhm.
make sense?
Yeah.
So maybe I can run into something or someone that can change my life. You know,
Yeah, but
make that happen.
in the meantime, you're still working the craft, still
For sure.
coming out with concepts as far as songs,
Yep.
creating songs, and
Yep.
different things like that.
For sure.
What about your next show? When you have your next show coming up?
Next show is gonna be October 28th. So
October 28th.
October 28th.
So we're probably gonna actually know about that time. And where is that show gonna be at?
It's actually a new location. I
Mm.
don't know the address yet. So
What's the name of the venue?
It's a new location.
Is it brand
so
new?
it's like somebody that owns the location.
Uh-huh.
They decided to have the show there. So we're gonna have it
So-
right there.
Unknown spot. Jay Tre is gonna be right there on the lineup. Is it a particular act that you're opening up for, or it's just like an independent type of thing?
So we're having somebody from Houston come out,
Mm.
and he does a lot of bigger shows in Houston, like opening acts and all that. So he's coming out to check with the artists and stuff. So
So it's kind of like a showcase to show somebody that does music from Houston to check out what we got here.
yes, sir.
Kind of like that.
Yes, sir.
That's dope. What is the event called? Do you have the name of it yet?
I think it's like Halloween show. You know, it's not really.
Nothing crazy.
Yeah,
nothing-
nah, it's-
no specific name yet.
Yeah,
but-
the Music Halloween show.
Oh, I
Yeah.
got you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so again, we are running short on time. However, I appreciate your time very much. Thank you. I'm glad that you continue doing the music and working on it, even though I might not see it being consistent, or your fans, the people that support you, haven't seen it, but you know that you're working it, and
Yes, sir.
I can't wait to hear whatever you got going on.
Thank you.
And again, since 2015 that you've been working on the craft, I don't doubt that the things that you put into things that you learned as far as the music industry, to put it into your actual tracks now and getting them out. I can't wait to hear what
Thank
you
you,
come
man.
up with.
Thank you. Thank you for
Are you
having
adding some
me
of the
too.
Spanish?
So yeah, I made my very first Spanish track at Grand Hustle.
What?
It's because they made me do it.
Really?
It's like, man, we need a Spanish track from you, and I was like, I felt really uncomfortable,
Mhm.
but I feel like in those moments of being uncomfortable, it's like the best things come out of it, man.
How did that grand hustle come to be? What happened that day? What exactly happened? Did y'all just go to the studio and something, or was there a
No,
situation?
I know somebody. His name is Wade,
Uh-huh.
and Wade was just like, "Hey man, I got 4 studios lined up for you when you come to Atlanta. And, hey, shout out Atlanta. Anytime you want to do music, go out to Atlanta. They show love.
Wow.
Like they help you go up that ladder, and not like Dallas is a little different. It's kind of clicky. You know, people have their cliques.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, so it's like that. So he kind of just opened the doors for me and was like, "Man, what studio you want to go to?" I was like, "Grand Hustle, man. Let's do Grand Hustle." He's like, "That's like $600, man. Let's do it, man. Let's just ride with it." And he's like, "All right, you sure? One more time? Like, let's do it." And when we were in there, he was like, "Jay, look at me, man. Gucci Mane's first mixtape was recorded in this room."
Are you serious?
Yeah. He was like, "You got to give me something, man." And I was like, "Let's go." We made 3 tracks right there. I want to say in like 4 hours. 3
So
tracks.
it's 600 per hour, or 600
No,
per session?
600 for the session.
For
It
the
was
session?
like 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah?
Mhm.
And did they provide an engineer? You have to
Yeah,
bring your own?
engineer. No, he was
Everything's there.
and which is the engineer I work with now.
Uh,
Mhm.
So they get you going. They bring your own
He brought
tracks?
me beats.
He brought you beats.
He brought me beats. Well, Young Dolph's producer.
Yeah.
Yeah, he brought me some of his stuff. Very first beat he played, it was a Spanish track.
Went in with it.
Went in.
What's the name of it?
No Dura.
And it's still on the boat right now.
Still in the vault.
Oh, bro,
Yeah.
if you don't get this music out, Jay Tre, if you don't get this music out,
Yeah.
I mean, at least every quarter, at least 3
For
months,
sure.
some new
sure.
song.
Yeah.
Because man, people are
Hungry.
telling you, they
Yeah,
are.
people
They
hungry.
want to be able to see that the consistency. Even if it's a thing that you push for 3 months, if there's nothing else going on, different little videos, things like that.
Yeah.
Man, people appreciate it and start keep going your base
Yeah.
and be ready for that. Hopefully, that opportunity for the album that you want to do.
Yeah.
Okay, so all your social media, where can they find you? Where can they follow you? Where can they listen to your music?
Y'all can follow me at iTunes, Spotify, Jay Tre, JayTre. Official Jay Tre on all platforms: Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Yep, that's it.
There you go. And any shout outs that you have? Any people that you throughout your career that you dealt with? I mean, there's a bunch
It's
of
a
people.
bunch.
There's a lot, but the ones that you, of course, your family, but
Okay.
all the ones that can come off the top. Remember, you are still special, but there's a lot. This has been a
family. Y'all special.
Good... Go ahead, bro.
So S1, man, shout out S1, A Parlay, Bush, Third Line, Bizzle. Man, shout out Crispin, man. Thank you for having me, man.
I appreciate it.
Yep.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, of course, bro. We go way back. Way
Yes,
way
sir.
back.
I know. And if y'all didn't know this, Chris, he's actually one of the reasons why I got put on KNON with Miss Q.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Yeah.
Sent you an email, and I was like, "Hey, any way you can give this to the DJ?" And you're like, "I'll give it to the DJ, but I don't know if she'll play it." And I gave her 2 songs, and she ran with one. And
Yeah.
man, I really appreciate that. The first time I ever got radio play, it felt so amazing.
Yeah, I don't think I'll do something.
Hey, nah, for
I'm
real.
just kidding. They're kidding. Don't come to me and tell me your tracks. I'm not gonna do it anymore. We can talk about the podcast if you're doing something serious. Homie's been serious for many years. He stays with it. He works on his craft. I wouldn't say you're blown up yet, but I can see something like that happening for you too. Not to mention again the craft, the showmanship, and everything serious about it. You know what I mean? Again, maybe you haven't had that opportunity yet to be able to put you forward, but I do what I can as far as like I have, to a certain extent, I have influence.
For sure.
And I have no doubt. I was real with you.
Yeah.
I can't guarantee that
For
this
sure.
is going to happen, but I will be more than happy to present it because I mess with you. We met before, and I give it to them, and then they play your track. I'm glad that was able to be fulfilled
Yes.
for you. But again, I can't guarantee people stuff. I'm presented to people and introduce people, but I can't make them do anything if they don't want it.
No doubt.
But I'm not going to give you false hope. I hope this interview does good for you. I hope people are able to see that you, even though you haven't been doing your thing for putting out music for a while, you've been seriously working on and learning the craft of how to be an independent artist, how to know about doing it the right way, putting it out the right way, distributing it the right way, giving credits to the right people, go to the right producers, names that I don't even know, but I know they're pretty relevant as far as the music goes for the things that you're doing.
Yes, sir.
That might not be relevant to me as far as knowing, but you know that they're important people that you need to work with to take it serious.
Yes, sir.
So, hey, it was my pleasure, bro. I'm glad that you were able to do that. And again, I feel like you could, my opinion, if you can stay consistent putting out music that you have on the vault already, even if you're not the most favorite track with you, you'll still get the momentum that you need eventually, you know? It will happen for you.
Thank you.
All right. Now, what is an important lesson that you learned in the music business that you would tell your younger self that will help somebody out now?
Don't do wrong by anyone, so no one has anything wrong to say about you.
Yeah. And if they do, they're lying. Because you ain't never done nothing wrong to nobody. You know what I mean?
For sure.
So absolutely.
Yep.
Character, you know, stand on your words and know that you don't go out around messing people up. So if anybody else, something is on them, it's not on you.
For
sure.
sure.
You've done everything you're supposed to.
Yes, sir.
That's dope. So usually when I wake up or throughout my day, I remind myself, and I heard it from this guru, guys, I'm not immortal. I am mortal, and I will die one day. And that's not to scare me, to frighten me, to terrorize me. That's just a reality in life that we're here, very finite life. We're not here forever in a day, whether we want it or not.
Yeah.
And it helps me realize to do stuff and get busy with different things because we never know. With that, after everything, I wish you a long, prosperous, successful life. However, when everything's said and done, what do you want people to feel or think about your life?
I want them to see the passion and the drive, and hopefully it inspires them to do the same.
Awesome. No doubt whatsoever. Yeah, no doubt whatsoever. And 2015, when Daisy was making a comment on one of the pictures, Daisy's a friend. She's going to be, her episode is going to be coming soon, her Spanish interview.
Okay.
And she shared, and I realized, like, I've been knowing you for some time.
Yeah.
Like, from the first time we were doing, for people that don't know a little bit about me as far as in the radio game, I did my own internet show for 3 years ago, and then I went to KNON for a year, and that's how I got opportunity to, you know, do my and get better at, you know, being quick and on the air, and help you and a few people get their, without guaranteeing anything, be able to put your tracks out there. So it takes a minute. So with us connecting, even then, there was just internet and putting it out there, and hopefully somebody was hearing to be able to know that you're still doing your thing. Being able to find your stuff, and then you're still taking it even more serious as seeing the things that really matter, right?
Yeah.
And being selective with shows and being reached out to perform, and from a legend to come to you and say, "Hey, I really like what you got. Let's do something." That's very significant, and it shows growth as far as the things that you've been doing. Now, maybe a lot of people might not realize that you've been active like that, but man, that's pretty big. So without a doubt, Jay Tre, you are a Global Latin Factor. Thank you very much for being here. I appreciate it.
For having me.
Absolutely. This was another episode of the Global Latin Factor podcast. Remember to subscribe. Remember to subscribe. And remember, we are the spice. We are just like you. We are the spice in this melting pot that it is the world. Until next time. Us. Thank you very much for checking out another episode of the Global Latin Factor podcast. Make sure you go and subscribe to the channel. You are very important, and it means a lot to us whenever you go and subscribe and hit the bell so you can get notifications whenever we have new episodes. It really does truly mean a lot to us. Thank you very much.
De la Vigo, walks like a pero but in fact is a flamingo. Coming to Havana and reach from Puerto Rico. On a pirate ship, you don't know where do we go. The birds of the jungle chasing fortune and fame, but Juan